It's the dictionary. 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 It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the dictionary. I am Spencer, your host for this show. Please write a review on the Apple Podcasts. Please watch this on YouTube. Subscribe. Write some comments and click the likes and share. You can email me dictionarypod@gmail.com. You can follow my social media at dictionarypod. My own is at speejampar, SPEJAMPAR. You can leave a voicemail and maybe I'll put it in an episode, 917-727-5757. You can join the Patreon for only $1 a month, and that gets you very, very early episodes. And merchandise. You can buy a t-shirt or something. All right, let's get into the words. The first word in this episode is forwards. It's forward with an S. It's an adverb from the 15th century, and the synonym is just forward. How were we walking? We were walking forward, but it's so fun to walk backwards. We live our lives forwardsly, or just forwards. That's how life goes. That's how everything goes. Just keep on going forwards in time. Time keeps on ticking. Now I got to make a sound effect, and I'm not entirely sure what to make. Let's make a sound that I think this animal makes, which we shall be talking about soon. It looks like it's going to go round. The next word is forwent. It's a past form of forego. Forego seems like it's already past, so forwent is more past? I'm not sure. Next is forewarn. Adjective from 1508. It is archaic, and the synonym is worn out. Oh, I'm getting so old because I'm in my 40s. I'm feeling forewarned. Oh, my back is hurting me. I'm so worn out and tired. But I don't have kids, so that helps slow it down. Slow down the forewarnness, which I assume is a word. Next, we have the forz. F-O-R-Z. It is an abbreviation for forzando, or possibly, yes, pronounced forzando, because it's our next word. Forzando. This is an adjective or an adverb from 1801. Now, the synonym, this is very interesting. It's the word, it's kind of the same word, sforzando. It's the word with an S at the start, sforzando. And I know that this is it's Italian, and they use it in music. You have to wait until the S's. But I think it has something to do with maybe playing loudly or loud and then quiet, or give it some gusto, give it some energy, give it some sforzando. It's hard to say. Well, especially when you put the S at the start. All right, now that we're done. We're done with the FOR words, and now we are getting into the FOS section, starting with foscarnet. Foscarnet. F-O-S-C-A-R-N-E-T. Foscarnet is a noun from 1981. It is a hydrated sodium salt, Na3CO5.6H2O, that is administered intravenously to individuals infected with HIV to treat retinitis caused by a cytomegalovirus. Whoa. Okay. Now, this is from 1981. We have progressed very far in the HIV medical world, and that was 44 years ago. So foscarnet, are we still using it? Still, let's just type still using it. And did I spell it wrong? Oh, yes, I spelled it foscarnet. Yes, foscarnet is still used as an antiviral medication, primarily in the treatment of cytomegalovirus infections and acyclovir-resistant herpes simplex virus, HSV, infections, particularly in immunocompromised individuals. Let's see, treating anything else? Well, yeah. So it's still being used, which I guess is good. But I know we got other cocktails, margarita cocktails, old-fashioned cocktails that people are taking to help their HIV. Foscarnet. I'd never heard of it. Yeah, good to know. Good to know this word. So let's see. Where's this from? It's from some scientific-y words, taking little bits and pieces from them, putting them all together. And that's about as good as I can tell you. All right, now we're going to make this sound that's like a row. That is possibly the sound of a fossa. Fossa. It is not a Mufasa. That's something very different. This is a fossa. First form, noun from 1733. It is an anatomical pit, groove, or depression. Well, this is different, but don't worry, we got a second form. So an anatomical pit, groove, or depression is a fossa, because this is from the Latin word, which means ditch. And so what would a groove in an anatomical body be? I'm sure there are some very specific ones, like, well, I'm starting to get the wrinkles in the forehead, and you can see, if you look at me, oh yes, there are some fossas, some fossae, fossi or fossae going across my forehead. I don't know, where your eyelid meets your brow, would that be a fossa? Maybe here on the ear, there's some grooves. Oh, my ears are so groovy. Yeah, those are some groovy ears right there. I don't know. Many possible examples, probably, for fossa in the anatomical body. But we got another one. Fossa, second form. This is a noun from 1838. This is a slender, long-tailed carnivorous mammal of Madagascar that has retractile, I wanted to say retractable, retractile claws, and is often grouped with the mongooses or placed in a related family, and that related family would be Eupleridae. The species name for this carnivorous mammal is Cryptoprocta or Cryptoprocta ferox. The second word is ferox, Ferox, and this sounds super duper fucking cool. And there is a picture of this fossa. It looks kind of like a combination of a cat and a dog and I guess a mongoose and a weasel and all of these things. It's got kind of an elongated nose, a little bit like a dog, but maybe not quite as long. That's shown here. It has a very long tail. The tail is maybe about as long as the body itself. It's sort of crouched down like it's in a hunting position, getting ready to hunt like cats do. It's also on a big branch, so it's up in a tree. They must like to be in trees. So I'm going to look up, because I already started this ridiculous thing that I'm doing. We are going to look up a fossa sound. And let's see. Ooh, this one looks very angry. Got to turn up the speakers and click this button. And not listen to the ads. No. Thank you very much. We don't care about you. All right. angry, so angry. There's no video, just a picture. Okay. I think that's enough of that. Yeah. So like, what are these the sounds that they're regularly making? Are these the sounds when they're fighting? When they're having the sexy times? What are those sounds? I don't know. There was no video. It's just a picture of a fossa just sort of chilling in the corner. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Maybe you learned about a new animal called a fossa. And they're in Madagascar. Madagascar, isn't that the big island that's to the east of Africa, I think? And I think there's a lot of little, are they lemurs? Are they some little primate live in Madagascar? Ooh, I would love to go visit Madagascar. All right, now we got to move on to, ooh, can I make that same sound? Nope. That's a big old nope. All right, now we have the word fosse, F-O-S-S-E, or no E. This is a noun from the 15th century. The synonyms are ditch and moat, M-O-A-T. So this is like when you're living in your castle and you don't want people to come attacking you. You gotta make a fortification. Maybe you gotta build a fosse. And of course, we can tell that this is from the Latin fossa, which means ditch or pit, groove, depression, something like that. And so you gotta build a big old fosse around your castle, and maybe you can put some alligators and crocodiles and sharks and other scary things in there with lasers. Some people would say that those animals are not scary, but other people would say they are very scary and not hairy. Rah, rah, rah. Next is fossick. This is a verb from 1852, starting with intransitive. Number one is from Australia and New Zealand. This means to search for gold or gemstones, typically by picking over abandoned workings. So I guess it's like, this place is abandoned. We couldn't find any gems or gold or fancy stuff over there, so let's just leave it. But then you come over later, many, many decades later, it's abandoned, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to give it another go. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to do some fossick. I'm going to go fossicking over there to find some gemstones. Are they righteous gemstones? No. Number 2 is chiefly Australian and New Zealand. The other one was just regular Australian and New Zealandian. This one's just chiefly. It means to search about, and the synonym is rummage. So yes, you could definitely see a connection from number 1 to number 2, going in that abandoned thing and rummaging about. So maybe when you go to an estate sale and you want to go rummage through their stuff, and maybe they're having a rummage sale at the same time as an estate sale, so you would be fossicking. Transitive is also chiefly Australian and New Zealandian. Is that the right term to use there? This means to search for by or as if by rummaging. Also ferret out. Like you're trying to ferret out something. You're trying to look for it and get it and find it and be all skinny and go through a tube and ferret it out. Okay, interesting. Fossicker, that is a noun from chiefly Australia and New Zealand, and I'm very curious about the etymology of this. This is an English dialect word, fossick, which means to ferret out, but it seems like it's just in Australia and New Zealand. Why did they get this word and we didn't get this word? What happened there? Can they lend it to us? Can we have it? Can we try it out for a little while to see if we like this word? Fossick? If you are from Australia or New Zealand, I would very much love it if you could call my Google Voice number and leave a voicemail and use this in a sentence or explain a little bit more about where you think this word came from. What do you think? But mostly, I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say it. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, the next word is fossil. First form, adjective from 1604. Now, I don't know why they put the adjective as the first form and the noun as the second form. I feel like the noun would be a little bit more important, more understandable. So put that first, please. Okay, anyway, the adjective, number 1. Preserved from a past geologic age, as in fossil plants. Also, fossil water in an underground reserve. So if it's old, maybe your parents, maybe your grandparents, maybe your great-grandparents are fossil people because they are from a past geologic age. What age? What age are your grandparents from? They're from the roaring 20s. Number 2, being or resembling a fossil. What's resembling a fossil? Do you look like you are cast in stone or sediment? Are you very frozen? Do you look like a troglodyte? Troglodyte? What's the right word there? Something. Did I hear that they found a fossil of some dinosaur that had skin on it? That stuff's amazing. Number 3, of or relating to fossil fuel. Fossil something. Fossil, the fuel is fossil because it's from fossils. Okay, now this word is from the Latin fossilis, which means obtained by digging. From the verb fodere, which means to dig. And there's more at the word bed. So, this is fascinating. The word fossil literally comes from you had to get it because you dug it up. You dug it up. Maybe you were digging a fossa around your castle, like people do, and you found some fossils by digging. That's amazing. I had no idea that this word meant just dig it. We dug it up, so it's a fossil. Huh. The second form of fossil is a noun from 1736. Number 1, maybe they put them in this order because of the year. Let's look at these other ones. These other ones that have multiple forms. Yes, in the previous episode we had the word forward, and those are in chronological order. What about this one over here? That's old, that's old, that's old, that's a little less old. Okay, maybe that's why they're doing it. So the adjective form of fossil was older. Oh, but see, now this one doesn't work. They mixed this one up in a couple episodes. All right, it's very confusing. All right, so the second form of fossil, noun from 1736, I said all of that. Number 1, a remnant, impression, or trace of an organism of past geologic ages that has been preserved in the Earth's crust. And it says compare to living fossil, which would be something that is not dead, it's living. That would be like, I don't know, maybe the alligators and crocodiles, because those animals have been around for millions of years. We can call them living fossils because we have fossils of their ancestors and they haven't changed a whole lot, so they're alive. Also, the horseshoe crab, I think we can call that a living fossil because that's been around for, I don't know, a while. Sharks, I think sharks have been around. They're all living fossils. I'm feeling like a living fossil. So, the Earth's crust. We can't go beyond the Earth's crust. We can't search beyond that. It's relatively very, very skinny, but it's so deep we don't have the tools to dig that deep. People have been trying. People are like, I want to dig so far. I just want to see how far I could dig. And, we've gotten far. It's like miles. We've gone miles into the Earth's crust. How thick is the Earth's crust? We should look that up. But how thick is Earth crust? But, I don't know if there's any fossils deeper than the Earth's crust. For one, we can't find them. But also, that would take a lot of work, a lot of effort to get down that deep. Of course, the thing is telling me that it varies in thickness because the oceanic crust is generally about 3 to 6 miles or 5 to 10 kilometers. But the continental crusts, where the land is above the ocean, can range from 15 miles to 44 miles or 25 to 70 kilometers. So if you want to dig past the crust, you got to go do it in the deepest part of the ocean, but that's pretty difficult. All right, so back to fossils. That is the thing that we're talking about here. Number 2A is a person whose views are outmoded, and the synonym is fogey. Those old fogies don't know what they're talking about. We got a lot of fogies, we got a lot of fossils in our government positions, and I think we need some new blood who really understand where this world is going and what's the reality of most people's lives, because those fossils are stuck in their old ways. And we might as well just put them in sediment. No, that's a joke. Number 2B. This is something that has become rigidly fixed, and that something might be a theory. That theory has become rigidly fixed. I would love an example here. Like, the theory of evolution, is it a fossil because it is rigidly fixed, or is that just like evolution itself, constantly changing and evolving as we understand evolution better? Or are there other theories? Probably lots of other theories. It's like, I got a theory. I made this theory when I was 10 years old, and now I'm 100, and I haven't changed the theory whatsoever, even though I know that the science is telling me that I should change it. That theory is a fossil. Basically, the idea of a fossil is something that's old and hasn't changed, really. Number 3, an old word or word element preserved only by idiom. Examples of these words would be fro in the phrase to and fro. So these phrases or idioms are the only places in that language where that word still exists. We don't use that word anywhere else, just in that idiom or some phrase, to and fro. I mean, I don't know. I'm saying fro all the time sometimes when I talk about my hair or other people's hair. Like if I let my hair grow, I get a bit of a fro. But typically, at least in this context, in the way that this word fro is being used here, we're not using that, except when we say to and fro, which we do also say all the time. Let's go dancing to and fro. How do you do that? Maybe it's this motion, just doing a to and fro thing. I guess we'll get to fro. I should have somebody on that episode who has an actual beautiful fro. All right, now we're going to move on to fossil fuel, 2 words. Noun from 1835. It is a fuel like coal, oil, or natural gas formed in the earth from plant or animal remains. Fossil fueled with a hyphen is an adjective. And this at some point, some people were like, well, I guess they found the oil and the coal and the natural gas, and they figured out that these things were made from fossils. How they figure that out, I don't know. Has something to do with science, maybe, and maybe fossil theories. And so that stuff, it's like with all of the pressure or whatever natural forces that go onto these fossils, that you get coal or you get oil or you get natural gas, and then the humans up on the top of the crust pull it all out and they use it to make their cars goes. And so we're using fossil fuels. And you know what? We're probably going to run out sometime. and it's not great for the environment to put all that bad stuff in the air. And so, we should probably be using a lot more of those renewable power sources like solar and hydro and wind and other things that people are inventing. I think I just saw that like Australians, maybe when they were doing some fossicking, they built a little engine that can run on sunlight. Did I hear that correctly? I don't know, maybe. All right, fossil fuels. Slowly we're getting away from them. Slowly we're getting away from the fossil fuels. All right, now here we go with fossiliferous. Fossiliferous is an adjective from 1830. It means containing fossils. If you've got some fossils in your house, then you would have a fossiliferous house. Some people do have fossils in their house because they find them or they buy them and they put them in a little box and they're like, hey, look at this cool fossil I got. That box is fossiliferous, which is a fantastic word to say, and I think you should say it. Now we have fossilize with an S. It's the chiefly British variation of the next word, which is fossilize with a Z. Why do I shake my head when I do that? Fossilize, verb from 1794, starting with transitive. Number 1, to convert into a fossil. Maybe someday I shall be converted into a fossil. Has anybody taken a deceased body, not a human, but just a dead thing, and can you put it in very specific conditions to make it into a fossil? I think one of the big things is that it has to be, first of all, in the right conditions, and then more stuff has to go on top of it, and then it has to be squished over millions of years. And I don't know, maybe someday, people way in the future are going to find cemeteries that have been covered in sand and dust and rock and stuff, and then they're going to find all these bodies, and they're going to be like, wow, there were a lot of bodies here that are now fossils. That's what's going to happen. Number 2, to make outmoded, rigid, or fixed. You're making something old and not changing. You're fossilizing it. I am not fossilizing this podcast. I am trying to change it up, keep it interesting, do something new periodically, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm not fossilizing this podcast. Number intransitive. It means to become changed into a fossil. Oh, I became fossilized. I'm a dinosaur and I got fossilized. Look at me, Ma. I'm a fossil. Fossilization is a noun. Now we have fossorial, adjective from 1837. It means adapted to digging. Oh, yes, we know where this is coming from. Adapted to digging, as in a fossorial foot. So some animals have feet, paws, hands, legs, whatever word you want to use there, probably just foot, that are made for digging. Oh, I don't know, probably weasels and moles? What are some other groundhogs, maybe? Maybe even bunnies and squirrels. So many animals out there have been made so they can dig good. I'm trying to think of those. What are those? Naked rat moles? Is that what they're called? They are definitely fossorial. Their feet are fossorial because we know that this word is from, what did we have? Fossa, which means ditch, and there was also foss, which is ditch or moat, but there was another one. Oh, yes, fossil comes from fossilis, which is obtained by digging. You got it from the digging. And is there more? Middle Latin fossorius, which means used for digging. From the Latin fossor, which means digger, and also the verb fodere, which we saw means to dig, and that's what it is. Fossorial. This is not a word that I have heard before. Okay, now moving on to no more digging words. It's the word foster. First form adjective from before the 12th century. It means affording, receiving, or sharing nurture or parental care, though not related by blood or legal ties. Real quick, let's look at the etymology. This is from the Old English fostor, which means food or feeding, akin to the Old English foda, which means food. So basically, it just means that you're sharing the food, the feeding of the food in a household. It's an interesting usage or an interesting way to make a word, this word specifically, I guess. But yes, if you bring in some foster living thing, a human, a cat, a dog, the people who are living in that house are going to take care of that thing and feed it, give it shelter, maybe play some games, watch some TV, stuff like that. Getting that parental care, but not related by blood and not necessarily having legal ties. They're not legally bound to that, although I guess it depends on the situation. But yeah, like, hey, come on in. You need help. I can provide some help. I'm going to foster you. Might be forever, might be only for a temporary time. We had a foster cat kind of for a little while. He was named Squirt for reasons that we found out. And we had to keep him in our office, and we kept the door closed, and we had the whole floor covered in those pee-pee pads. And Squirt was so sweet and so cute, but unfortunately we had to say, you know what, somebody else can foster him. It was getting a little much for us, but we had him for a good little while. I don't know, weeks, maybe a month or two, something like that. But there are people, I think once Audrey goes in our life, maybe when we get older, maybe we'll do like the foster cat or foster dog situation. But I don't know if I can handle having another animal permanently. Not for a long time, I think. Okay, moving on to the second form of foster is a verb from the 12th century. It is only transitive. Number 1. To give parental care to. The synonym is nurture. Number 2. To promote the growth or development of. The synonym is encourage, as in fostered the college in its early years. We were encouraging the college to do great work. Go on, college. You can do it. We're fostering you with all we got. Fosterer is a noun. Yeah, no more etymology because it's very similar. Nurture. I think that's a very good synonym for this word. Fostering things. We're going to see more in the next episode, but we are going to finish up this episode with the last word, which is fosterage. It's the word foster with age at the end. Noun from 1614. Number 1, the act of fostering. When you get a foster child into your house, you're doing some fosteraging. No, you are. You just did an act of fosterage. I don't know how to use it. Number 2, a custom once prevalent. This custom was once prevalent in Ireland, Wales, and Scotland of entrusting one's child to foster parents to be brought up. Oh, interesting. Well, back in the day, this is possibly in the 1600s, people were on farms and maybe they said, this kid, they're not doing so well on the farm. We're going to do a fosterage and we're going to send that child to live with somebody else. Ooh, in fact, this was not in Ireland, Wales, or Scotland, but this happened with my grandpa. He grew up on a farm for only about 3 years, he had 4 older brothers who were all working on the farm, and I suspect, and his mom died when he was like 3. I think they were in Michigan. They were on a farm in Michigan, and his mom died, and I think his dad and the brothers were like, we don't want to take care of a 3-year-old. Let's get him out of here. Let's fosterage him. Let's have him do a fosterage situation. So they sent him to the big city of Chicago, where he lived with his aunt and uncle, was raised by his aunt and uncle. And so he was in a foster situation. He kind of went to a foster home, which will be in the next episode. All right, I don't have any personal experience with any of this stuff, so I'm not the best, but I know that there's a lot of people out there in the world, especially in America, who have gone through the foster situation, and sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's not so great. So, it's a balance. Let's pick a word of the episode, shall we? Why don't we do that? What shall we pick? We shall pick one of these words. We had today 4 words: forewent, forewarn, fors, forzando, foscarnate, fossa, foss, fossic, fossil, fossil fuel, fossiliferous, fossilize, fossorial, foster, fosterage. Well, there are definitely some good contenders, for the word of the episode. It's very difficult to pick one of these. Fossorial is pretty cool. Things that are used for digging or adapted to digging. Fossiliferous is a great word to say. That's reason enough to pick a word. That word. Fossil fuels, to say maybe we shouldn't be using fossil fuels. Let's see, what else have we got? Foscarnate is a very good thing to helping people with HIV and other immunocompromised situations. Forzando is also just a fun word to say. Well, those are my thoughts, and I don't know what to do. Let's pick fossiliferous as the word of the episode. Fossiliferous, fossiliferous. My house is fossiliferous. The desert is fossiliferous. That's fine. That's just wonderful. Last night, we went to see the new movie Clown in a Cornfield, and it's just your typical ridiculous and fun teenage slasher movie, and it's fun. And I would like to know, what is next? Will there be sirens in a soybean field? Something else in a wheat field? I don't know. What do you think? What would be some good silly sequels to Clowns in a Cornfield? Oh, I also thought of clown in a cotton field. They could go some very interesting directions with that. Commentaries on race and slavery, and I don't know what the story would be. That would be a very odd situation. Clown in a cotton field, but hey, we had snakes on a plane and other things, I think. Okay, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for checking out this show, and until next time, this is Spencer, dispensing information. Goodbye.